Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching Young Sheldon. This is the 6th episode of the 5th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you like to watch today's full episode, it is available for in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put a password in, and enjoy. So last episode, Sheldon, he needed some advice from his dad. Also, Billy did. And interesting, like, I thought he'd give good advice both times, and well, basically for George, it didn't seem like it come out that way. You know, he give Billy advice, he come to him, he knocked on the door, he said, look mate, I'm interested in inviting Missy out, I'll come to you man to man and ask if I get your permission. He's kind of like, well, I think anyway, he would say yes to Billy, but he's basically saying like, does Missy have like any idea that you could potentially do this? He's like, well, no, not really. And he's like, well, maybe we start on that. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe we start progressing the relationship a little bit, get the feels going, because if you ask her out and she rejects you, then it's going to be awkward. Then you're going to have to see her at school every day. Do you know what I mean? Just make sure the timing's right. Well, Billy didn't really listen to him anyway. He just gone and done it, and she said no. He's been upset. He's gone round. He's given some good advice, fatherly advice. Basically sat down and said, look, if you get knocked off the horse, you get back on it again. You know what I mean? Like, don't let this little setback, this little situation hinder you and, you know, hurt your feelings for the rest of your life. You've got to get back on the saddle. Do you know what I mean? You've got to try it again. There's going to be another girl that comes round and, you know, learn from this experience. And I thought he'd give good advice, and Sheldon come as well and asked him for advice. Basically, he was saying that him and Dr. Linkletter are struggling with an equation on the board, and basically they could use the help of Dr. Sturgis. But we also know the relationship that Linkletter and Sturgis have got. You know, it's kind of like a love-hate. They're kind of friends, but when it comes to, like, work environments, you always get one up on each other, and he didn't really want him involved. However, George said, again, give good advice to Sheldon that, look, even though two people don't get along, you know, you're working in the same environment, and ultimately you're both working towards the end goal, the same goal, and that's to improve the field of science. Sheldon was like, that is good advice, you know what I mean? He's invited John around, and he has actually helped, but George never, you know, he never actually got to learn that his good advice was actually, you know, working. I actually thought he had a good episode, George, and I liked his dad moments. I actually really did. Thanks for checking out today's episode, though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy it. If you do, please smash like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode.
When children reach adolescence, a cascade of hormones are released. During this time of change, members of the opposite sex who caught my sister's fancy included New Kids on the Block, Rufio from the movie Hook, and oddly enough, our new Sunday school teacher, Pastor Rob.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No, I don't.
I don't have a girlfriend either.
Pastor Jeff is married.
And was married before. So he's had two wives, but not at the same time. That's not allowed.
God is love. So, if we love someone else in a committed relationship, we're feeling God. I'm thinking it might be a good idea if we gave the kids a talk about
SEX?
What are you spelling that for?
GOD?
I just think that's a subject best left up to the parents.
I'm glad you feel that way because it was your daughter who had the most questions.
To be fair, it's a tough one. Should it be the parents? Should it be the school? I don't know.
I just think this is our chance to get in first before they learn it on TV.
Flipped past MTV the other night and a song was on called I Wanna Sex You Up. I turned it off before the young man could clarify.
Manager, supervisor.
Your title is grandson who can go home now.
But it was my idea how to get them up and running again.
And thank you. Now go home before I tell your mother you want to work in a secret casino.
Maybe I should tell her you own a secret casino.
But she's clearly interested in the topic.
Well, that's it. She's grounded till she's 21. I mean, it's good this pastor wants to talk about it.
You can be my assistant manager.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
How much did Dale pay you?
Minimum wage plus 5% commission.
I'll give you half of that.
So 2.5% commission?
No, half of the minimum wage part.
Hourly wage, just a cut.
What kind of cut you thinking?
5%,
3%.
5.
3.
You're supposed to go in the middle and say 4.
The number I'm thinking of in my head, is it odd or even?
How dumb do you think I am?
In my defense, you used to be dumber.
Did somebody die?
No.
Before we go into this, I just want to say, like, she's sucking from Dale's, where he actually was working and receiving money, whether it's minimum wage, I don't know how much that is. Let's just say $10 an hour, just because it's easier to do numbers. if he worked 8 hours a day on $10, he's making $80. You know what I mean? And he's making, what do you say, 5% commission. So if he sells $100 worth of things in the store throughout the month, he's getting 5. You know, nice and simple. He knows where he's at. He can work it. He can do it. She was the one that said, mate, I want him over here as my grandson. She's brought him over. She don't want to pay him even half, and they're haggling for even commissions on the illegal thing that he gave her the idea to be able to get back up and running anyway. So she was in a place where she had no one working for her, getting 0 money from the casino, to having somebody working for her, paying him less, and potentially bringing money in for the casino. She is a proper penny pincher, but that's what you call a store owner.
So, you two are both growing up, and I thought that maybe it might be time to have a talk about that. And speaking of God, he is very clear about the do's and the don'ts, especially the don'ts.
I didn't ask you because I know what you'll say.
You don't know what I'm gonna say.
It's a sin. You're too young. Wait till marriage.
Well, it is. You are, and you should.
You can't be too young if you're an aphid. Some of them are born pregnant.
To be fair, Mary didn't really do anything wrong there, did she? She tried to actually
It's just your
help.
hormones.
What are you doing?
Making sure you don't run away.
It's so embarrassing.
Why?
If you have to ask and something's wrong with you.
But the topic was procreation, and she clearly is procreated.
You.
Forgiveness 5? Oh, come on now. That didn't feel like you forgave me. All right. Hey, maybe it's something you and I could do together.
Oh, no. This was your idea.
Yeah, but you've got way more experience with kids. I'll tell Pastor Jeff. I like watching his face get all red when I mention SEX.
I'm gonna give you the teddy bear.
Why would I want a teddy bear?
Because then we're going to buy the teddy bear back. Because this way it ain't gambling.
But I want to gamble.
Well, gambling's illegal. Wow, that is a nice teddy bear. I'd like to buy that from you.
I think you're as normal as I am.
Thank you.
Although, I have been called an odd duck and one time a quirky turkey.
Those people were probably jealous.
You feel embarrassed talking about sexual intercourse with your mother? Although he may just be embarrassed by the subject in general. Discussing it with a co-worker. Say me, for example.
Maybe he's in yeah.
And now we know conversations like that can cost you your job.
Oh, what do you reckon with that? You know, do you reckon that's a firing worthy? I understand that the sensitive subject, and we've seen it in the Big Bang Theory before, where Sheldon's been called into HR. But I also, I don't feel like, I don't know. Maybe it's different people's personalities and how you take it. To me, it's just not even that bad. Like you say, sex is just a standard thing that most adults do, and just having a conversation with an adult like about it, I don't think it's that bad. I understand that you can say maybe the workplace, don't do it in the store, do it in the staff room or something, but like, I don't feel like just a standard little bit of conversation, just asking a question, is a sackable offence. But I can see where they're coming from, but I totally just think it's proper snowflakey.
I think 1 Corinthians 7:2 is actually a pretty good place to start.
Not sure quoting scripture is the most exciting way to abstinence is important, but I also believe in honesty, and abstinence wasn't my journey. You can tell the kids how you waited to marriage. I think it'll be really powerful.
She didn't wait until marriage, did she? She was already pregnant before.
I didn't wait all the way until marriage.
Hey, none of my business.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Okay. Oh, help.
Don't take all my money. I'm just a Texas grandma trying to make people happy.
Sweet bear, I'll give you $20 for it.
Mate, it works out. He actually is doing a sale.
What are you doing?
There's a problem with the cash box.
Oh, what's that?
Can't
They
use
ran
the
out.
clothes.
Oh, alright, they got lots.
Can we talk?
It's just the two of us.
That's what I was hoping.
This is wrong.
Does it feel wrong? I want to sex you up.
I would like that very much.
Do you know, I think it's interesting there that they were saying, you know, basically he didn't wait until he got married to have sex. And to be honest, I think it's a good example. Well, not example, but like what I'm trying to say is like, I think it's good for students to see that you don't have to be on the straight and narrow all your life and be accepted by God, for example, you know. So he could have experienced lots of things that you may deem as a sin or something in his life, and, you know, the kids may fear of not doing all these things because he may not be accepted by God. But he's living proof that you could do some things that are not recommended. However, God will accept you if you are a good human. Do you know what I mean? If you follow the right rules and try and improve other people's life. He clearly isn't a bad person. He wants to help and teach and spread the Lord's message. But yeah, he's had a few hiccups here and there, and he's fell off the horse like we were saying last episode. But it's about getting on that horse, you know what I mean? Like, no matter how many times you fall off it, as long as you get back on and going straight and narrow and keep going and spread the Lord's message, you know, he will accept you. I feel like that is a good way and message that you can give to the kids, you know, like when you're teaching them. You don't have to be a grade A student, you know, you can be a C student. You can fall off, get back on, but at the end of the day, you're still passing.
Now what happens?
I take it home, pour it on the bed, and just roll around in it. First of all, we're not partners, and second, actually not partners covers it all pretty well.
Why is she being stingy?
Good luck laundering this money without me.
Guess we've been naughty.
It's not a thing.
You know who wasn't afraid of causing a tizzy?
Yeah, Jesus, but he didn't get 14 messages from angry parents on his answering machine.
For upsetting people, we should just back off.
Exactly. The talk is off. I never want to talk about the talk again.
You okay?
No.
What's wrong?
Everyone's parents are upset about the sex talk Mom wants to give, and all my friends are blaming me.
All you did was ask questions.
And it's ruining my life. I'm never talking about sex again.
Well, all right.
Back in business.
We're not breaking any laws. People are just winning these prizes.
That you buy back for cash. Heard that in cash businesses such as this, some owners can benefit by having a strong relationship with their local police department. Just saying. I've heard some business owners like to invest in local law enforcement. That somewhere between 9 and 11% is popular.
He wants 10.
10%?
If you insist.
How about 3?
3 counts of illegal gambling.
You're upset. Would you like a hot beverage?
Go away.
The discussion of human reproduction seems to be so upsetting, it causes nothing but chaos. Sleepless nights. Even the word sex provokes an uncomfortable reaction.
They're going with coitus.
A word so bland and clinical that it would be impossible to take offense to it.
Do you, Pastor Rob, take Melissa Cooper to be your wife?
Heck yeah.
You may now take the bride to Six Flags. Yay!
Mate, when I went to Six Flags, I didn't even know what type of theme park it was. So obviously, I just went there because you hear people talk about Six Flags all the time. Yeah, Six Flags, it's a great place and all that. And like, went there, just all roller coasters. I mean, I don't mind the odd roller coaster, but now I've got older. If I get on 3 or 4 after, you know, in a row, after a bit, I'm dizzy. I have to have half an hour sit down, I have to regen. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting on them, I was spinning around, I was coming off, I felt like I was wobbling all over the place. To be fair, though, it was pretty decent. They had some big ones. I do love a good roller coaster, just not back to back to back to back, you know. Do you know what I actually really like as well now? Like these 4D or sim kind of rides, and I don't really know how to explain it other than, you know, if you ever been to the Disney and been on like the Avatar ride. I literally just went to Disney like 6 months ago, and, you know, it's my experience in the modern day kind of technology rides and stuff, and I thought it was crazy, me, because my mum, for example, my mum doesn't like rides. You know, she doesn't like going fast or whatever. It's just not like, ever since being a kid or whatnot, she'd only go on the small ones, you know, like the Peter Pan ride, or, you know, like anything just kind of simple like that. Where like here, many of the rides now, like Simpsons, do you know the Simpsons one? Is it in Universal? That's been there for years, but like, it's basically a roller coaster, but you don't really move anywhere. You're just literally in a box and you're watching a virtual screen and it goes up and down and moves and bounces around. She likes them because she knows that she's safe, she's not going anywhere, she's not going to fall. And like, the technology is advanced now and it's getting so good, it literally feels like you're actually taking the ride. You know what I mean? So like, if you go onto the Avatar one and you're literally flying around all over, you're going up and down and you're seeing the whales and going in the sea. It's crazy. It feels so real. Even like Soaring, the one that they have as well. It's great stuff. So like, mate, I absolutely love rides, and I can't wait, to be honest, to take my kids to like all the theme parks around. I'm going to use it as an excuse, me. You know, like obviously like these have got young kids, but I'm going to use it as an excuse when my kids get to an age where they can get on all the rides. I'm going to go to all these countries that I've never been before, and with a purpose of exploring the theme parks. I'm going to say to my girlfriend, probably be my wife at the time, I'm going to go to like Disney's, like Japan and LA and you know, China and all that, and I'm going to go to all these theme parks. I'm going to use any excuse to go exploring and do activities. I'll just say it's a kid that wants to do it, but really I'm just being the big kid. Okay, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Mate, I cannot believe Connie's being such a stingy person. Honestly, it's crazy. Without Georgie and his, I don't know, like his vision, his ideas, and him helping out, she'd have none of that money. Do you know, it just shows that no matter who you are, whether it's family, friends, colleagues, business partners, when money starts getting into play, people get greedy. People cut you out. You know what I mean? And if you look at this, it's a small token. For every $1,000 she made, he was asking for 50. And she wasn't happy with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, she don't even really want to pay him his wage. She was trying to pay half of a minimum wage. And then when he asked for 5%, she was trying to cut it even more. And like I said, if she makes $10,000, he makes $500. Like, what is that? It's literally nothing. You know what I mean? Like, literally, it is now. Yeah, you know, she wants to scream, you know, scrape and get every bit of money from everybody else, but not the person that's actually helping her, coming up with the ideas. And as well, wounded for her, the police officers come in. Do you know what I mean? Instead of taking them down, he wants to take a cut for himself. I get it. Do you know what I mean? You see it all the time. People come in, they want a piece of the pie. You know, I'm not surprised you see it in other TV shows and films as well. Like she's not a gangster, for example, but like other people will come in, gangsters and stuff. You taking money from my patch. Do you know what I mean? We've got other casinos going. You're coming here stealing our customers. We want a bit of it as well. And getting yourself into some sticky situations. I don't know really how much she's actually paying Georgie, because it seemed like she didn't come to a fair agreement, in my personal opinion. But she ended up having to pay 10% out to the police. So that's 10% down. She's only making 90. Hopefully Georgie gets his 5%, which I don't think he will do. And it was his good idea, actually, that come up with it, wasn't it, as well? I know in today's episode, the kids, well, mainly, Missy was wanting to learn a bit about sexual education. And, you know, I think it's weird, isn't it? Because as adults, it's easy to talk about it, you know what I mean? You're not even bothered about any other topic. I mean, I could literally talk about anything to do with sex, and I'm not asked about it at all. It doesn't affect me, don't get embarrassed. I'm not even bothered. You could be into some mad kinky stuff, do you know what I mean? Love being tied up, whatever, gagged. I'm not bothered at all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I literally have the conversation with anyone. But then when you start knocking it down to lesser ages, so you get to like the 18-year-old, maybe the guy that was in the store that Dr. Sturgis was trying to talk to, you know, he starts getting a touchy subject, he starts getting embarrassed, you know, starts like getting a little bit squeamish, don't really want to talk about it. Then you start obviously knocking it down to a way less extreme level, just talking about male and females and how you're growing and how your body changes and, you know, just how the reproduction system works. At a teenage level, even then, it's awkward and nobody wants to talk about it. And you kind of all self-learn it yourself, don't you? Schools, when I was there anyway, never even mentioned any of it. And if he did, it would be in the situation that kind of Missy was in. I totally get where she's coming from. But it's literally nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's literally nothing, but I totally get where it's coming from. I don't think it helps as well if you get adults that are squeamish or squirmish or whatever. When it comes to a subject, you need somebody with full-on confidence, with literally the answers to any of the random questions that you've got. You know, if you're trying to pussyfoot around, so to speak, you're not going to get anywhere. It's going to make the situation a bit more strange and, yeah, awkward to be in. But hopefully she gets back up and she don't really get, you know, lose any more friends. It sounds like she lost some friends as well because of the situation, and that's not really what you want when really she's trying to educate herself, like Sheldon was saying. But thanks for checking out today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.